narrative going on social media.
Oh yeah, they're terrible. Terrible takes.
Like nothing has changed in the game plan since Kyle Davidson won this job and they named him general manager. Like I found a quote from his introduction conference, March 1st, 2022. Clear we need to be better. The standings tell us that every day. We're going to rebuild this team both on and off the ice, no matter if it takes 3 years or 5 years to reach the level we want to achieve. We're going to look at more of a rebuild here. There are some things that we need to fix that is going to take time.
Yep.
That was before a complete teardown to get out of cap hell and draft pick hell.
Draft pick heaven. Into draft pick heaven.
Into draft pick heaven.
Yeah.
That Bowman left us. Nothing has changed the plan.
Yeah.
It's 3 to 5 years. So even if you were saying the rebuild started from the minute that he took over, we're only at that 3-year mark. Not even at that 3-year mark yet.
Yeah, technically, like the rebuild wasn't even a build at that start. That was the teardown.
I don't think the rebuild started until last season. In my opinion.
I would say like it's this year.
You think it's this year?
I would say it's like this year, pretty much, because last year was still kind of a tear it down. It was. I guess you can say you're kind of building a foundation, but like there's a lot of things that happened. It wasn't really building because you got a lot of youth, a lot of time on the ice because of like injuries. But
I told you this today. The best and worst thing that happened to this organization was getting Connor Bedard. It's the best because we get this amazing talent that is going to be a vocal point for this team going forward and is going to be a huge part of this team getting back to playoff hockey. The reason why it's bad is because every single person sees him on this team and just assume time to start winning, time to start playing.
Yeah. No.
It's not how this works.
Yeah, he's everybody stats wise and comparisons of like how he's going to play and points wise. Everybody wants to compare him to like Connor McDavid, which is fine because like that's a comparable player from like when he was playing in junior and everything. It's just his timeline isn't the same as McDavid. His timeline is like the same as like Taylor Hall. Like Taylor Hall was the first overall pick on a team who ended up getting 3 first overall picks after him.
Yeah.
And that's what people need to realize. we got lucky enough to get like our fucking for sure franchise piece immediately. Yeah. The problem is we got it immediately without having the other pieces like ready for that to like happen.
And so here is what I'm talking about. I was looking up some players from the Hawks Stanley Cup era. So rebuilds take time. Oh, yeah. Everybody knows that Kane and Taves were the driving force behind, the resurgent and the Stanley Cups in Chicago. Like they're the poster child for it. They came right at the time of, all right, time to go to playoff hockey. See, it's at the opposite of what's going on right now with Bedard. What some of the key pieces of the Blackhawks Stanley Cup teams. Duncan Keith, drafted 02. Didn't see playoff hockey until 08-09. Seabrook, drafted 03. Didn't see playoff hockey till 08-09. Jalmerson, drafted 05. Didn't see playoff hockey till 08-09. Bufflin, drafted 03. Didn't see playoff hockey until 08-09. And the list goes on. You got Dave Bolin, you got Bickle, you got all like Sharp, drafted 01. He saw some playoff hockey with Philadelphia, but he was a fourth line fighter role in that.
Yep.
When he came to Chicago, he was developed into the role, the goal scorer, top 6 guy that he was.
Is funny because like he was a penalty killer, and then one season he had like 10 fucking shorthanded goals.
Right. Yeah. He didn't see true playoff hockey until 08-09. This shit takes time. It's not going to go over overnight. And people upset that they're not putting enough talent around Bedard and all that right now. Do I agree with all the signings that Kyle Davidson did this past offseason? No. I question the Tal Bertuzzi one. The only one I don't mind that I don't hate is Teravainen.
Mm-hmm.
DJ Brody, don't even fucking talk to me about that one. Talk about another buyout candidate.
See, some of these signings though, like, were to try and help make the team better, but like they're also you to make sure that the young guys get more time to develop. Like the team can be hopefully what the idea was to make it a little bit more competitive in this season, but like obviously they're not going to be great and give the other guys time. It hasn't worked out the way that he's wanted it to. I mean, if you listen to the Kyle Davidson interview on 32 Thoughts, like he even talks about that. He's like, we're not where we wanted to be, but like we're going to have to work through that. I think it's such a good interview too.
Yeah, I still got to check that one out.
I would say like you can hear the thoughts on like what the vision is and how no matter how much bitching everybody's going to do, it's not going to fucking change his mind, which is great because I don't want him to listen to the fucking fans because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about a majority of the time.
Dude, if you listen to the fans, you have an underachieving Patrick Kane right now still playing. You have like half the shit. Like you're not going to you'll have Alex DeBrincat, which would still be on the team when you wouldn't have Frank Nazar. You'd still have probably Kirby Doc. You wouldn't have Korchinski. Like
swap those, but yes. DeBrincat for Korchinski and then Doc for Nazar.
Okay, but same point. So up the ideas.
You would be paying like DeBrincat $9.5 million minimum for 8 years with Kaner still on an extension. You'd have Doc, who knows, making $5-6 million and no real, and still obviously like no fucking first rounder that year. Cause like, I'm sure they don't make that move for Peter Mrazek either, where they get the first rounder, which ends up being Sam Renzel. They literally 0 first rounders that first draft, and they ended up with 3.
They had to go out and make the moves. They weren't the popular opinions, but they did it. And people talking about, we have so much cap space, why don't we use it to bring in talent? Let me give you an example of, let me ask what you would rather have. And obviously 100%, this is a biased, and I'm going to lead you to the answer that you should be giving me.
Yes.
Would you rather have a farm system that is producing players that are getting time to build their game up over season so that it's next man up when somebody goes down? You have the next class coming in to go. Or do you want to spend to your cap limit and with older guys who have won elsewhere, only for them to come in and completely underperform and have you towards the bottom of the NHL standings, and there's nothing you can do with it because of the contract you gave them, and you're stuck with them for 4+ years?
I mean,
which would you rather have?
That last one sounds pretty enticing.
Do you know who I'm talking about with that last one?
Well, Seth Jones, maybe?
Well, Nashville. Look at what Nashville did.
Yeah, I mean, they still have time to turn it around, but
still, like, there's no. My point is, there's no guarantee that you spend the money.
Absolutely.
That it's just going to be an automatic fix.
We still haven't even seen Laurent Brossoit. You don't know until he gets into the pipes.
It's just
like, what's possible.
It blows my mind that you can't be patient enough to wait to see. Like, I couldn't find the exact quote, but like, I'm pretty sure Kyle Davidson pretty much said when he got the job was, I'm not building this team to win now. I'm building this so this team doesn't, once they start winning, they don't stop.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, I want this team to be competitive for 15 years, not 5.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh yes. Like it's all of the frustrations and everything, like with the guys that are underperforming, like those guys aren't going to be here when the Hawks are competing. Like the guys that are going to be here on the forward core when they're competing right now, Bedard and Nazar.
Possibly Teravainen and Bertuzzi, depending on when that window.
No. The window is probably like 4 or 5 years. I'm saying like when they're like constantly
consistently like Tampa Bay in it.
It's like Bedard and Nazar, maybe Reichel's still here, like Colton Dock, who just got the call up. Maybe he's on the team full time at that point, and that's
the only
the forward core. That's it.
Yeah, the Nazar and Bedard are the only guys that I've penciled in. Not even penciled, I have them tattooed in as being a part of this team going forward. Like everybody else, it's like, would it be great if they're here when we start winning again? Yeah, of course. But I'm not going to lose sleep if they're not.
Yeah, I mean, the majority of these guys are in their 30s. They'll end up being in their mid to late 30s at that point. Like Pat Maroon's 35, Craig Smith's 34. Like they're not going to be here during that time. Tyler Bertuzzi is going to be 29 really soon. Mikheyev is 29. Teravainen's 29. Taylor Hall's 32. Nick Foligno I love Nick Foligno. He's 36, but he's not going to be here during that time. Jason Dickinson might be here at the beginning of it, but I doubt it unless he like really wants to just stay. Like I'm sure he's going to be such a good trade piece that they'll be like, do you want to go to a competitor like for this, like make a playoff run? You'll probably just, why not?
Yeah, I said that in the game in our group text. So I was like, I can't wait to see what Donato goes for at the trade deadline this year. Like he's another guy I think is going to get. And it's like, not only are they not going to be here when the team gets good, I'll be surprised if some of them are still even here past the deadline.
Yeah. And then like on the defense, like it's a little bit more exciting because I feel like Nolan Allen's making a real good case for himself for the future and like being a mainstay defenseman. Like Vlasic's going to be here. I think that those are like the only two, like almost Vlasic's a guarantee. I'll tell you that. But Nolan Allen is a very possible, and then that's all for like the guys of the future.
100%. But
maybe
really calm down, breathe, relax. Shit is going to be fine. Kyle Davidson is doing what he was hired to do. You might not like it, but it's what's best for this team. And when you're cheering for multiple Stanley Cups down the line, I hope you remember. I hope you clear out your ex. I hope you clear out all your posts everywhere. You're going to look stupid. Stupid idiots.
Stupid idiots.